Today, we know these names as CGI spectacles and digital video game bosses. We see glowing hammers, snake-haired monsters, and shadowy underworlds designed to keep us entertained for a couple of hours. Before they were projected onto screens, these concepts carried a terrifying weight. To the people who first spoke their names, they were absolute, unavoidable facts of life. Societies reorganized their entire economies around them. They spent decades hauling thousands of tons of marble to build massive complexes to appease these forces. What we now call mythology was the very first blueprint of reality, a rigid framework that dictated how early humans built their cities, fought their wars, and lived their daily lives. Put yourself in the environment of early humanity. There is no meteorology. There is no geology. You have absolutely no tools to measure atmospheric pressure or tectonic shifts. Then, the sky turns black. The temperature drops, and the air itself violently fractures with light, setting the ground on fire. People died instantly in these events. Entire crops were wiped out by floods or buried in ash. And the most terrifying part was the absolute lack of a reason. The destruction was entirely random. A brain wired to find patterns cannot function in a permanent state of random panic. To survive the daily threat of sudden death, early humans had to invent a reason for the chaos. They applied a basic rule of deduction. An action requires an actor. If a boulder is thrown, someone threw it. If the sky is tearing itself apart with unimaginable force, an impossibly powerful being must be pulling the strings. They took the unpredictable violence of storms, oceans, and earthquakes and gave them faces. They translated raw atmospheric pressure into muscle and bone. They interpreted the invisible acoustic wave of a thunderclap as the physical strike of a heavy hammer, an idea so concrete it could be forged into silver and worn around a warrior's neck. By assigning an identity to the storm, the danger became a deity. The randomness of nature was given a strict, understandable personality. And those personalities were intentionally flawed. These immense beings felt rage, jealousy, and vanity, the exact same emotions as the people worshipping them. If a hurricane is driven by anger, anger can be soothed. If a drought is caused by jealousy, a sacrifice can buy favor. Humanity created a transaction system. You could negotiate with the climate if you knew what the gods wanted. But weather and crops were only half the equation. They still had to face the quiet, inevitable realities: physical pain, ethical dilemmas, and the guarantee of eventual death. To navigate these internal struggles, they engineered the hero. These were figures who operated under the heavy rules of the gods, but actively pushed back against them through sheer will and physical courage. The gods laid out a strict, fatalistic map of reality. The heroes proved that a mortal could still carve their own path across it. The human mind deployed this cognitive technology simultaneously across vastly separated populations to structure the unknown. In the freezing, unforgiving climates of the North, people developed narratives centered entirely around survival, endurance, and an endless conflict that would eventually consume the world. Meanwhile, in the stable, sun-drenched floodplains of the Nile, the primary anxiety shifted. The greatest mystery was what happened after the body stopped breathing. This papyrus illustration shows the Egyptian weighing of the heart ceremony. Here, a person's morality is literally placed on a scale and weighed against a feather to determine their eternal fate. Divine figures oversee the mechanism, guaranteeing the math of human ethics balances perfectly. Whether they were fighting freezing winters or calculating the geometry of the soul, early societies utilized the exact same formula. They built structures of belief to conquer their environments. Today, we have satellites to track the storms. We have seismographs to measure the earthquakes. The scientific method has cleanly answered the physical mechanics of the planet. Yet no instrument can measure the weight of grief. No equation solves the complexities of human morality or explains why we are here in the first place. We still face those voids. And to fill them, we still look to flawed beings with immense power and heroes who fight against impossible odds. Mythology persists as humanity's oldest intellectual framework, an essential tool for finding meaning in a mysterious universe.